When you truly desire something, the whole universe conspires to help you achieve it. That's the theme of today's book, The Alchemist. The story begins with a boy named Santiago. At first, he seemed ordinary. He had studied at a seminary, and his family hoped he would become a priest. It was a stable,
respectable life.
With such a future, he could marry a nice girl, perhaps the shopkeeper's daughter, and then they have children and spend the rest of the days in quiet comfort. But one day, Santiago gathered his courage and told his father, "Father, I don't want to be a priest. I want to be a shepherd." His father froze. A shepherd? That was lowly, unstable work, hardly a future to be proud of. But Santiago stood firm. "Father, because I want to see the world. I don't want to stay in this village for the rest of my life." Surprisingly, his father gave him his blessing. It was also at that moment Santiago looked into his father's eyes and saw something that moved him deeply. When his father was young, he too had dreamed of traveling the world. But life demanded sacrifice, and he had buried his dream under years of hard work to support his family. Does that sound familiar? If you ask any elders around you, you ask your parents, or even yourself with graying hair, was there once a dream that slowly faded away until you accepted a normal life? The fact is, not everyone can pursue their dreams, but some do. Why? Why do some people settle into ordinary life while others become dreamers and seekers? In the book, the author gives his answer.
At a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. That is the world's greatest lie. Santiago realized that nothing could stop him except himself. He thought, "I do not live in the past, nor in the future. I have only the present, and it is the present that interests me. If I can always remain in the present, I will be a happy man. Because life is always, and only, the moment we are living right now."
Santiago became the shepherd he had once dreamed of being. For a time, it seemed enough. Yet, deep inside, he sensed that life was whispering something more. Next in the story, Santiago the shepherd had the same dream twice in one night. In that dream, someone told him, "Far away at the foot of the pyramids, there is treasure buried. Go and find it." This dream stirred something inside him, a longing he couldn't ignore. Could it be my destiny? But with desire came fear. Unsure of what to do, Santiago went to see a fortune teller. Then he met an old man and shared his dream with him. What Santiago didn't know was that this man was no ordinary elder. He was the king of Salem, a wise ruler who seemed to see through everything. The old man said with certainty, "Go, follow the dream, search for your treasure. Along the way, you will face many things. Remember this, they are all omens." Santiago asked, puzzled, "Omens? You mean like fortune telling? If I see a bad omen, does that mean I should give up?" The old man shook his head. "Whether good or bad, events will come. But each of them carries a message for you. That is what an omen truly means." From that moment, Santiago carried these words like a guiding light. It was this belief that kept him from losing his way. Determined to follow his dream, Santiago sold his flock of sheep and set off in search of the treasure from his dream. But soon, misfortune struck. He was robbed of all his money. At that moment, despair almost took over. Should I give up? Then he remembered the words of the old man. Whether good or bad, events are omens. With that in mind, Santiago thought, since I have no money, so I need to earn money. Oh, I need a job. So he found a job at a crystal shop. When he told the owner about his journey, the man scoffed. You will be stuck here your whole life. You will never earn enough to reach the pyramids. Huh, young boy, naive. But Santiago didn't lose hope. He decided to stay for now, and soon he discovered opportunities to earn. By moving the crystals to the street for everyone to see, more customers will come. By serving the tea in crystal cups, the business flourished even more. He's really a smart young boy in business. Good sales. These clever ideas not only made the shop owner wealthy, but they also allowed Santiago to save enough money to continue his journey. On the eve of his departure, the owner tried to persuade him to stay. Oh, you could live here safely, be comfortable, be wealthy, get married, have children, just like me. At that moment, Santiago began to waver. Then he remembered a story the old man had told him.
A young boy once asked a wise master the secret of happiness. The master gave him a spoon with 2 drops of oil and said, "Walk through the castle for an hour, but don't spill the oil." The boy walked carefully, and after an hour, the oil was safe, but he had seen nothing else. The master let him try again. This time, he admired the beautiful tapestries and artworks, but the oil was gone. Finally, the master explained, "The secret of happiness is this: see the beauty of the world, but never forget the 2 drops of oil in your spoon." Suddenly, Santiago understood. Wisdom meant that while pursuing dreams and exploring the world, one must never lose sight of life's foundation, yet also never let responsibilities blind you to the beauty around you.
With that clarity, Santiago decided not to settle as the next crystal shop owner. He set off once again, ready to follow his treasure. In the next chapter, Santiago faced his greatest test: love. Oh, this is really beautiful. By a desert well, he met Fatima. Time seemed to stand still. Her dark eyes, her gentle smile, the soft curve of her lips. It was in that moment that Santiago understood. This was the language of love. She was the woman of his life. But a question weighed on him. Should I continue my journey? He loved her. He wanted to marry her. The next day, Santiago returned to the well, waiting for Fatima. He shared his entire story with her, his dreams, his journey, his love for her. He wanted to stay. But Fatima was no ordinary girl. She was a woman of the desert, attuned to the signs of life. She advised Santiago not to be bound by love, but to continue pursuing his dream. Her words were beautiful. The dunes may change with the wind, but the desert remains. Our love is like this. If I am part of your destiny, one day you will return. Santiago felt the pain in his heart. To him, love meant being together with the one you loved. Fatima was more precious to him than any treasure in the world. The final answer, however, was given by the alchemist, who told Santiago, "You will never truly understand, but love will never prevent a man from pursuing his personal legend. If it seems to, it is not true love." Whoa. Not the love that the language of the universe expresses. True love makes you stronger, better, more patient, and more persistent. In that moment, Santiago understood that true love does not ask you to abandon your dreams. In fact, it supports them. And then he found Fatima and gave her a heartful goodbye. And so, Santiago set off again, ready to continue his journey. On the 7th evening of the journey through the desert, the alchemist told Santiago that he was about to reach the end of his adventure and congratulated him for following his personal legend. He also shared with Santiago a secret about destiny. That secret will be revealed later. After countless trials, Santiago finally arrived at the pyramid. But at that very moment, fate seemed to play a cruel trick. He was robbed again. All his money was gone, and the thieves even beat him. Before leaving, one of the thieves mocked him. "Oh, you fool, there's no treasure here. I once had a dream too. I dreamed of a shepherd in the field, and under a fig tree lay the treasure." Santiago froze. In that moment, he finally understood. All the struggles, the long journey, the risks. He had come to the pyramid just to hear this sentence. The treasure had been waiting for him at the very place he had started from. Wow, what an excellent story! It dawned on me that no matter the outcome, remember this: anyone who takes a journey experiences the vastness of the world and gains a collection of stories and lessons. Even if they return to where they started, they will never be the same person again. Final chapter. At last, Santiago returned to his village, to the small abandoned church. The fig tree still stood in its old position, just as it had at the beginning. With a spade in hand, he began to dig beneath the fig tree. Half an hour later, the spade struck something hard. A chest filled with treasures. Gold coins, sparkling jewelries, a golden mask adorned with red and white feathers. Looking at the riches, Santiago thought of everyone he had met along the way. The people who had helped him, inspired him, guided him, or even deceived him. Then a familiar scent and a gentle, sweet kiss brushed his face. It was Fatima's love and blessing. He smiled and said, "I am here, Fatima." And so the story ends here. Do you like it? And I only picked the main storyline from it. There are other characters who are also very, very inspiring. For example, the crystal boss, the crystal merchant, he always dreamed of going on a pilgrimage to Mecca. But he was too afraid to actually go. He thought that once the dream was realized, nothing would be worth living for anymore. I totally understand him because sometimes I have the same thought. When I read the merchant's words to Santiago, "Your dream is of sheep and the pyramids, but we are different because you want to realize your dream. I just want to keep dreaming about Mecca." While reading this, I felt torn. On the one hand, he has chosen safety over his soul's calling, and that feels tragic. But on the other hand, he does have a good life, a steady business, very respectful, comfort. The merchant's behavior reminds us that the fear of failure is often worse than failure itself. In stark contrast, Santiago teaches us that every small step is a vital part of the big picture. Whatever he encounters, these are not obstacles, but omens, signs from the universe guiding him for his next step until he reaches his final goal, his dream. Finally, what was the secret that the alchemist shared with Santiago about mastering one's destiny? He said there's only one way to truly master a craft, through action. This easy. He also warned Santiago, before you achieve your dream, before you find your treasure, the world will always test you. These trials are not meant to harm you. They exist to remind you not to forget your dreams, not to strain from your past, and to help you gain wisdom and experience along the way. Does this mean the ending is guaranteed to be success? I don't think so. But as an old Chinese saying goes, one I love, do your best and let the rest be decided by the fate or by God. At the very last, when your journey comes to an end, you will have no regrets. About the author, Paulo Coelho, he was so rebellious that his own family sent him to a mental institution, where he was even given electroshock therapy. As a young man, he was arrested for standing up against the dictatorship. Later, he lost himself in rock music and the hippie culture. But at the age of 38, something changed. He walked the Camino de Santiago, and On that journey, he suddenly awakened to the meaning of life. From that moment, he wrote a novel that touched the entire world, The Alchemist. And the character of this book is Santiago, because after his journey of the Camino de Santiago.
If you pay attention to the omens, you will learn the language of the universe. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. You must understand that love never keeps a man from pursuing his personal legend. If he abandons that pursuit, it's because it wasn't true love. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and with eternity. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better, too. There is only one way to learn. It's through action. Everything you need to know you have learned through your journey. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
That's my share for today. Hope you like it.